Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, assalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Welcome to the R2F show, and we got a fun one for you guys today. So we've talked about this many times on our show about Muslims in the West and our involvement with I say us collectively with politics. And I know us three are pretty much on the same page regarding politics in the West. And the gist of it is, why waste your time? That's like the first thing. Why are you wasting your time? Without even getting to the theological issues, the issues with your deen, the issues with Islam. But the main point of the story is, if you understand how politics works, especially in the United States, you know it's all just a scam. First of all. Second of all, it's one thing if you think your vote matters, you want to go vote and do your thing, whatever, and we could, it's a whole different topic about whether that is permissible or what you're actually doing with your vote. However, when you take the next step of pandering, going out and supporting certain politicians or supporting certain groups or parties, and then even the next step where you go and you start trying to run for office and get in there and like you think you're doing something. The very least, you're compromising your deen, and we're going to show you how that is. Mubarak, is your camera working or no? Are you okay? Just want to make sure you wasn't disconnected. So we have some clips here, and we're going to kind of take you through story pretty much of all the stuff that's kind of out there and that's been happening. And we're going to start with Amr's man, Zohran Mamdani. I'm saying he's Amr's man, but he's probably my man. I live in New York, and he's the mayor of New York City. So
close it up, Doctor.
But just, everybody knows he's the first ever Muslim mayor of New York. I mean, he might be the first ever Muslim mayor of a major city in the United States. Who knows? Or claims to be Muslim anyway. We'll say that.
He's a Shia.
He's using the term Muslim lightly there, buddy.
Hey, yeah, we're using it as the way, like, on the street dawah when they say Jesus was Muslim. Bring him in. Right? So I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll just have some clips. We're going to just follow along, and you guys will get the theme very quickly. Well, we hope you get the theme. I mean, I hope you guys get the lesson from this, because it gets kind of annoying seeing us Muslims, as we have in the show title, falling in the same hole over and over and over, and watching other people fall in the hole. They were like, well, you know what? We ain't going to fall in it. I mean, no, you're going to fall in it even harder, right? Let me share my screen, and we'll give comments on this as we go along. So bear with us. Okay. Whoops. I don't know if I shared. Let me stop that again. Stop sharing. Here we go. I don't think I shared the audio. Share screen. Okay, here we go. All right. This is one guy. He's on YouTube or social media, and he answers like questions, and he does it in a funny way. I don't know his name, but this is his opinion on. Someone asked him about Zohran Mamdani's victory in New York. And this is what he had to say.
How do you feel about Zohran Mamdani's victory in New York? Look, if Trump hates him, the Republicans hate him, the establishment within the Democrats hate him, the Zionists can't stand him. I'm all up for him, yo. The guy is actually coming up with genius ideas to make New York affordable and be the mayor for the people of New York, as opposed to for the Zionists and for the elites. That's why they're against him. So whether he's Muslim or not, bro, that's not even the issue. The issue is somebody who actually has good ideas trying to come in and being smeared with all types of campaigns. So if you live in New York, get this man in, because he's going to cook for y'all. How do you feel?
And first, I would just like to say, like, I haven't examined his policies in depth, but I'm connected right now. Hold on. There we go. Okay, we're back up. All right, so he said, let that man cook. He talked about all these creative policies he had, and I don't even care enough to look deeply into his policies. But on the surface, when I'm hearing about him, I'm like, this is all just fluff talk for people that have no idea how finances and how funding goes in governments. He's not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say that this brother here in particular, listen, you are a little too old to be promoting this nonsense. Listen, my parents have been voting their whole lives. They have been voting for change. They voted for Democrats. Some years they voted Republican, whatever, right? And it's under the guise that, hey, one of these people who we vote in, be it from the local level to the bigger, high levels, presidency, whatever, one of these people is going to make change for us. And they have some policies that we agree with, and they're going to enact this policy to help us out in whatever term that we need to happen, right? It never happens. You're either a fool or you're just a wishful thinker, right?
Yeah.
It's never happened. Politicians are famous for one thing, lying. That's what they do. They're going to sell you a bill of dreams. They're going to give you, oh, at the end of this rainbow, there is gold. Guess what? They're stealing all the gold before they get across the rainbow. It's like, and guess what? At the end of with all the money, all the gold, guess what? There's Jews there. They're not giving you the money. So I don't know why people still believe this nonsense. Oh, he's gonna make New York affordable. No, he's not. No, he's not. You're not gonna just wake up one day and like, oh, this is. He's gonna change the whole world. That's not how it works.
Yeah, and the thing is like, especially with certain levels of politics, I mean, some of the changes he's suggesting sound radical. Let's just say hypothetically he does pull some of them off. He's mayor for 4 years. He has to get reelected again. Let's say he does get reelected again. He's limited to 8 years. Someone's going to come in right after him and change it. Because if you guys paid attention a little bit to what was going on, he was a Democrat. So the Republicans are already against him. And the Democrats are against him. So he's literally on an island. He happened to win. I mean, but anyway. But that was his position. But this is just showing you how like Muslim influencers are like getting involved, giving their opinions. Go ahead and support this guy. He literally said it doesn't matter whether he's Muslim or not, which is like, when does that not matter?
Right? Yeah. So here's the thing. There's two principles that we can kind of, I don't want to say live by, but we can use to determine what to think about a certain situation, a certain person, a certain idea, things that are going on. The only people who are able to please everyone, even if you have two opposing sides, right? You have one side that, hates this side or they are at odds with each other. The only people that can please both sides, at least they appear to. I'll pose the question to y'all. What are the only people? Oh, yeah, ayyuhal muslimin. What are the people that are able to please both sides of two opposing parties?
Yeah, munafiq.
Yes. The munafiqeen. A munafiq, a hypocrite, and hypocrite is not really the exact word to translate munafiq, but
right.
It's always translated like that in a lot of texts. But the munafiqeen are the only people who both sides like them, or at least seem to be okay with their actions. Yeah. When they're with one group, they want to please them. They say, "Hey, we're with you." And when they're with the other group, they say, "Hey, we're really with you," or whatever. So they're able to, at least that's their goal, to please everyone. So if you see someone that everybody likes, and here's a clue for some of your favorite celebrity shuyukh or da'iyas or whatever. If everybody likes them, if the non-Muslims like them, if the Muslims like them, if everybody don't have anybody who says, "Hey, we don't like that guy," be careful. They probably are purposely doing that to make everyone like them. And this is what a munafiq does. They don't stand on anything. Mm-hmm. They stand on whatever is going to get people to be okay with them, to accept them, to extract benefits or whatever from. So that's one principle that you have to know. If everybody likes a person, they're probably, in that munafiq range. Just letting you know. Okay, now the other side of that is if everybody hates a person, right, and nobody likes him, not one side, then what is that? Would that say, okay, that means he must be great? I would say not so fast. So the clip where the guy was like, everybody's saying this against him or whatever, so he must be doing something right. Sometimes you have where a group who actually likes that person pretends not to like them so that you won't get wind or be able to realize that this person is not really on your side. For instance, if everyone who is, for instance, if people say, oh, the Zionists, they really hate this guy, so he must be doing something right. Well, if the Zionists know that whoever they like, we're automatically going to be, our antennas are going to go up, then therefore they say, hey, we don't like this guy either until he's, in there doing the things that he wants them to do. So you have to be careful of those two things.
There's a lot of wheeling and dealing and maneuvering at the political level, so much so that when you start getting down into the weeds of it, I just turn it off like, all right, this is all corrupt. It's all like, you can't trust anything. But the point you made about like, just because everybody hates them, well, there's famous and there's infamous. And if some people can't be famous, they go for being infamous. When you think of Batman, you automatically think of Joker. When you think of Superman, you automatically think of Lex Luthor. And we can go on and on and on. And like Mubarak pointed out, it's just a game. It's just moving things. It's a very complicated game of chess. And you'll see, we'll get to it, but you'll see at the end of this. So we're predicting here. We're about to do some Nostradamus stuff right here, right? We're doing some Nostradamus stuff right here because we'll see in 4 years, 8 years, or however long he's the mayor, if he ends up where we say he's going to end up. We got another, influencer or Muslim influencer, Sheikh Uthman, who gives a different perspective on Zohran.
Sheikh Uthman.
The historic victory that Zohran Mamdani had in New York, how should we as Muslims feel about it? Well, first and foremost, no matter what the politics are, we can never compromise on our principles. Things like standing in LGBT parades and standing with the trans community with rainbow flags that he has done, we can never support this. We can never compromise on our principles. Whether he is Muslim or not, whatever the case may be. But I will say, I do not agree with his politics. I'm not a Democrat, and I'm sure as heck I'm not a socialist. I am a Muslim who believes in the Quran, who believes in the Sunnah, who believes in the way of Al-Mustafa alayhi salatu salam, in the way of the Salaf al-Salihin, and I think the only and the best way of governance is that which Allah has divinely revealed. Having said that, I'm very happy today. Why? Because the city that was the epicenter of Islamophobia after 9/11 has a man who declares himself, who identifies himself as a Muslim, as the mayor. I'm not happy for a victory for Zohran Mamdani, but I am happy for a defeat for Zionist, Islamophobic lobbies who tried to criticize him just because he identified as a Muslim. This is a great day for Muslims and the future of America. So I'm going to be happy, but I'm never going to compromise my principles.
So that was his take, which I would say 75% of it I'm good with, all up until we got to where how happy he is. Yeah. Because as Mubarak pointed out, like you're not seeing the big picture here. He defeated the Zionists and all that. I'm like, well, how do you know that? How do you know that wasn't the plan from the beginning? Because as we see with Trump, right? And I think Trump was the first one to actually just like go all in on this strategy, right? And he's seen that, like, at least in my lifetime of paying attention to politics, right? Where the strategy was, I don't care how outrageous it is, I'm gonna take a position that's gonna split the voters in two, but I'm gonna try to pick the side that's gonna end up with the most voters. and I'm going to say whatever they want to hear. I don't care who it pisses off. And so when you look at in New York, right, and you're talking about Zionists, this and that, in New York City, we already know New York City is very liberal. One, we know New York City is also like a lot of colleges. They had all the protests and like the high level Ivy League colleges that were going on. They're shutting down protests. We know that the youth are pretty much against Israel. So if I'm sitting here and me, Mubarak and Amr are having our, let's replace R2F with replace Israel with R2F. We're like, listen, we got to get someone in New York City that's going to support R2F, right? And like, the youth hate us, right? It's already liberal. The liberals hate us. What are we going to do? And I'm pretty sure we'll be like, you know what? Amr, go run and say you hate R2F, right? Tell them you hate us, right? Just don't say nothing too crazy though. Just say you're against us, you're against genocide. Everybody's already saying that anyway. Just say you're not going to visit us when you become mayor because you're an American, right? Just say some common sense kind of stuff and grab that young vote and grab that literal vote. After you get in office, then we'll start figuring out how to do the rest. Because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the second largest population of Jewish people in the world, first is Israel and second is New York City. Not saying all Jews are bad or whatever, right? But if just think about that for a little bit and you say we're happy. Well, I'm going to be happy when I see someone a Muslim that declares to be Muslim and also, like Sheikh Uthman said, doesn't compromise on their deen, which Allah knows best. We will not see until the Mahdi comes back. So.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for anyone to win an election, I mean, I don't know how many times we have to say this, but for anyone to win an election, especially in New York City or someplace like that, the amount of money that you need to raise and have and use in order to just run the campaign is enormous. So your candidate, whoever you vote for, which at this point, what are you voting for? But whoever you vote for, you have to understand either they're extremely rich, okay, and they're spending their own money, which almost never happens. Or two, they have people who are going to fund their campaign. Just think when they ask for donations and things like that, but this is just a little bit extra here or there. But for the most part, the people who fund the campaigns of these major cities, pretty much any major city in the United States, but definitely the presidential or any congressman or senator, any of that stuff, the people who fund these campaigns are not funding it because they're just patriots and they love, democracy. They're funding the campaigns because there is a monetary or social or political benefit for them. It's just like when you cast your vote, you have one vote and you're casting that vote. That's the currency that you have. And you're casting it because you see that there's some sort of political or social advantage for you. It's the same thing the person is doing that's funding a campaign. I'm going to give you $1 billion towards your campaign to run. All the commercials, all the traveling, all the venues, all the town halls, whatever it is that it costs. And for that, that's more than a vote. That person probably didn't even go to vote. He doesn't even waste his time because he can influence the vote. But so that person or people, though, that group, they want something in return. So instead of watching political speeches and watching what they say and the promises that they give, figure out how are they funding a campaign, who's funding it, and what type of things do those people or those groups or those corporations that are funding the campaign, what type of things they like to do. Then you will know what your candidate will actually do or not do. That's the way that you need to do it. No one knows best.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off what Margaret said, listen, on that Epstein file list, it wasn't just Republicans, it was Democrats too. It was all political party sides were on that list. So it's not just like, okay, well, there's in the American system, right, there is no good side and a bad side. It's just evil and then slightly more abruptly evil. Like, okay, it's freaking Chancellor Palpatine and then freaking it's Darth Sidious. It's just the same person. Like that's really what it is.
I mean, you just gotta just think about this. The job as the mayor or even the president of the United States. Do you know how much the salary is? What's the salary for the mayor?
It's like under 100,000 or something like that. Let's look it up.
It's a fraction of what you actually have to spend just to run, not even win, just to run. You're going to spend way more than the actual salary is. So that should tell you something. It's not about the job. It's about the power that comes with it. And if the job was that valuable in and of itself, right? The salary would be high enough to deter you from being controlled by people who have much more money and much more power and influence. So the job doesn't pay that much. You have to pay. Imagine you want a job and like you're like, okay, I would like to work here. Here's my application, and I will spend $1 million. The job pays $100,000. I'll spend $1 million just to be able to work here.
Yeah,
come on, you got to know what's up.
It's like the president's campaigns, they're spending billions, right, on these campaigns to get someone in office. The president makes $400K a year. That's the salary for the president of the most powerful nation in the whole world. They're spending $1 billion to get that job. Come on now. These are picking cats here, people.
So just real quick for our listeners, the salary of the United States president is $400,000 a year.
Yep.
And the salary of the New York City mayor is $260,000 a year.
Dang.
And we already know from a lot of the stuff that was going on that they were putting millions and millions and millions of dollars in the campaigns for him and against him. And I just want to mention real quick, one of the things that made me raise an eyebrow was allegedly one of these Zionist donors that was supposedly like fighting against him and donating to like Cuomo and these people to like beat him. And it was he mentioned in one of his interviews that this, I forget the guy's name. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the names, but some billionaire guy in New York City was the amount of money he was donating to Cuomo's campaign to beat Zohran Mamdani was actually more than the tax that Zohran Mamdani was like promising to invoke on him. And I was just like, okay, wait a minute. People they don't become billionaires and like they know how money works, right? And to say that someone who's at that level of understanding finances to be like, I'm gonna pay more than this guy would charge me to make sure he doesn't win. Right there, I was like, I don't know what the twist is, but something's wrong right there. Like that doesn't make sense. Because it's like, Mubarak is charging, like Mubarak says, I'm going to become the president of R2F and I'm going to implement a $5 a year tax on all its members. And I'm like, no, Amr, you got to win. You got to win. I'm going to spend $50,000 so you can become the president of R2F.
I don't got to pay that $5 tax to Mubarak.
Like, what?
They're gonna tell you that he's just racist or he's just Islamophobe so much that he was willing to pay more for that. It's just lazy.
There's one thing that I think all human beings got, and I don't care if you're a racist or a bigot or whatever. The one thing that all people hate, skin color, religion, whatever, they hate being broke. So
universal, universal thing.
Let me share this next one. And this is, now we're kind of showing you the path because, again, we're telling you what happens when you compromise your deen. Once you make one compromise, right, there's a hadith, and I don't know the exact words, but we're supposed to some, I think it might have been in the last sermon where he said, beware shaitan in little matters, right, because he's given up in the big matters. And pretty much when they explain that, it's like he gets you to do something small, then you do something more small things, a bunch of small things, and at least then by the end of it, you already know you're already doing the big things that you were trying to avoid, right? So if we look at what's been going on with Zohran Mamdani, we got this right here, and we got him doing his rounds to the people that he wants to get their vote or get their support with some Jewish Hasidic Jews, it looks like. And as Muslims, right? Like, I don't know what you guys see here, but I'm only gonna say one word, what I feel when I see this. And I see humiliation. That's what I see, right? Basically, we come along, come. Put this on your head. To me, it's like you're being humiliated as a Muslim by them, like they're forcing you. You got to wear this yarmulke. Why would you put that on your head, right? Because you want to fit in, you want to pander, you want their vote, but you see the path that is going down.
Yeah, I mean, an ayah comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
An ayah comes to mind. I'm not accusing the man, but I'm just saying what comes to mind is the ayah. وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا إلى شياطينهم قالوا إنا معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون. That when they are with the believers, they say, we believe.
Yep.
But when they're with their shayateen, they say, we're really with you. We were just jesting. Now, for some people to say, you say, okay, hang on. Has anyone ever seen Zohran Mamdani wear a kufi, a topi, a shimar, a ghutra? Okay, so that's one thing. All right, I will say I'm not an expert at New York politics or Zohran Mamdani or whatever, but try to find a picture or a video of him wearing something that is Islamically identifying headgear.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, have you ever seen Zahra Mamdani just wear a yarmulke just randomly? So it's like you say it's humiliation. Okay, that seems plausible, but there's another possibility there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just saying, for those people, go ahead and look at it. Have you seen him wear anything? So therefore, the possibility is that either A, as Dr. Griffin said, it's a humiliation ritual. You're going to be our boy, and you're going to show us that you're our boy by wearing this. Sometimes how they humiliate some of the athletes and some of the entertainers who want to make it big. They dress them in women's clothing. They make them dress in drag or whatever. And for this, it says, we are, Jews, and we're going to make you wear our stuff to show that you are willing to acquiesce and to submit to what we might want you to do. And if you can show that publicly, then maybe we will support you privately. Okay? Mm-hmm. Or he could be a Jew. He could be actually a Jew, and the cosplay, the pretending is the Islam could be the pretending. That might be his that might be his John. That might be what he's doing. That's his religion. That's his.
It's interesting because we just got this picture. Let me share it real quick. Where'd it go? Let's put it over here. And this kind of reveals a lot, actually, when you see it. So he doesn't have anything on his head, nothing Islamic identifying, and you could say this is Islamic clothing. It's also Indian clothing. It's also white hippie clothing. It's basically like, so when he was with the Muslims, he was careful enough, like, I don't want to put on anything that's going to be too dramatic to identify me as a Muslim, because I know there's going to be pictures. I know it's got on the internet. But when he was with the Jewish supporters, I'm going to go ahead and put this yarmulke on. Right up, straight up, right? So it kind of reveals a lot about like his positioning, his pandering, what his approach is to all of this.
And if you think that we're reaching here, right, in this photo, look at all the Muslim brothers that have on kufis. Mm-hmm. They're surrounding him. No one offered him a kufi or a shemagh or anything of that nature. Not one.
Yeah. And so, just in case if anybody's confused, it is 100% haram to wear a yarmulke. you cannot wear one because that is 100% that is identifying as what the Yahud wear. That's their religious dress. And for you to wear one is haram to do. So, I mean, you can't be like, well, it's just, it's just a small kufi. Okay.
You're imitating the kuffar, like.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah.
But then you also got this. It's taking a step further. After the attack in he went and visited some Jewish graves or some grave or whatever, private prayer at the grave.
Pray for them.
Again, another question along the theme of Mubarak. Do we have any videos or pictures of him making salat? Do we have any of that? He's been in plenty of masjids. Did anybody like, hey, let's get this guy making salat? Do we have a Muhammad Qasim here?
I mean, I'm just saying, everything that I have seen from him, from his actions, from his speech, the things that he does in the report, I have not seen anything that would lead me to believe that he's Muslim. I mean, if he says he's Muslim, okay, but I don't know how we could, how would we be able to tell, from his actions and from what we see from him.
And we know living in America, when someone says I am Muslim, that can mean like a lot of different things, right? It could mean a lot of different things when someone says, oh yeah, I'm Muslim. All the different sects, all the different levels. There's some people who say I'm Muslim. I remember I was seeing a video of Ice Cube saying how he's Muslim, and then he like explained his Islam. I was like, yeah, that ain't Muslim, dude. You know what I mean? So we have to, again, we're not trying to say, oh, he's not Muslim or he's a kafir. And we're trying to get you guys to understand where this is going, where it's the direction this is clearly going, and he's gonna be right here at the end when we get here. I just got one more picture to show you guys, because now he's making moves, making political decisions, right? Because a lot of you guys are going to think like, oh no, he just had to do what he had to do to get in a position of power, and once he's in a position of power, now he's going to start doing stuff, right? That's the whole, all the Muslims, the sheikhs and imams out there that are promoting the idea of like, yeah, Muslims got to get into politics. That's their whole ideology right there. That's their whole game plan. You got to do what you got to do, make some sacrifices, make some compromises. But once you're in the position of power, once you have a seat at the table, then you can effect change. Well, let's see what some of at least one of the decisions he made when he's in power. Zohran Mamdani appointed a transgender rabbi to his city health committee. I mean, come on.
First of all,
like, how? Like,
I mean,
he could at least found a he could at least found a transgender like imam with female masculine or something. Like, could have went there, right?
So, I mean, maybe. I mean, there's so many things going through my head. Maybe it could be just a satire. I'm trying to think, is this real? Okay.
I hope so.
But the thing is, it probably is real. And the thing is, maybe he really is like, all right, I'm in here now. Now I'm about to really troll the Jews.
That was what he's trying to do.
Yeah, because as far as the real people, the people who really practice Judaism, they don't fool with that transgender, any of that stuff. Yep. So maybe he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this to troll them. I mean, Allah knows best. I don't think that's the case. I mean, but that is what is in line with that the liberal Democrat, whatever you want to say, party. That's what they do. That's kind of what, in order to be in that arena, you have to do things like that. You saw with Ilhan Omar, she's dancing with, LGBT parades and these things or whatever. That's just, that comes with the territory. It's like I try to tell people all the time. They say, "Oh, we want to get into politics, but we're not going to do it. We're going to practice Sharia in the politics." I said, "Listen, politics is a pig pen that's full of mud and pigs and filth or whatever." And you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna get in there, but I'm gonna stay clean."
Yeah.
No, you won't. It's not possible. And so here it is. He's just doing things. I mean, you can make a million excuses for him, but he's literally is doing the same things that the openly blatant kuffar politicians are doing. So you can take it. You can look at that and come to the conclusion that you should.
And this is what really the Muslims. And again, we're not trying to like say, oh, like we're not trying to be on some like we hate Jews and all. Like we're just talking about the politics part and the religious aspect of it. Of all this. And this is what Muslim people that are really care about the deen and care about pleasing Allah and fear displeasing him. These are the things we have to know about living our lives. And you'll do a lot better if you look at these politicians as politicians, not Muslims. Because what they're doing is they hear like Muslims, we hear they're Muslim and he's a politician. No. Just like Donald Trump was a Democrat and then he became a Republican, right? I'm pretty sure when he was a Democrat, people were like, oh, yeah, he's with us. Then he switched, right? They're only using Muslim to get your vote. That's it. Okay, I'm going to throw that tagline on me and I'm going to get that vote. But these are just politicians. If you take away this whole Muslim thing and take that out of your whole identity of trying to vote for somebody or whatever, then you'll see them like, oh, he's just like Mubarak said, he's just like everybody else.
I mean, you basically it's like this. Just put it this way: Zahra Mamdani being a Muslim has just as much effect on the political arena as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being a Muslim, and he's a basketball player. It has none. It's the Islam of the person or the professed Islam of the person ain't gonna have no effect on the job that he's doing. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar plays basketball, right?
And he's Buddhist now.
There you go. There you go. All right, who's a Muslim basketball player right now? Kyrie. You could take Kyrie Irving and be like, okay, Kyrie's a Muslim. Kyrie's wobbly, but still, we gonna claim him. We claiming Kyrie. Okay.
Kevin Brown, Taco Ball, someone else, who.
So Torian Prince. There's a few Muslims. But the point is that basketball player who's a Muslim is him being Muslim. All of a sudden, the arena is gonna start. Pausing and calling the adhan at halftime of the game. They're going to start having Juma, No, it's not going to have his Islam is not going to have no effect on how the NBA runs. Okay? There's Muslims in the NFL. Yeah. They're Muslim, and their Islam is not going to have any effect on what they do. They're not going to say, well, I'm a Muslim, so I'm not allowed to, I'm not going to grab a man by his, grab his cheeks when I'm there. No, if you got to tackle him, you got to wrap your arms around his waist or whatever you got to do. It don't matter. They're not going to make, oh, well, his pants are kind of tight, so a Muslim shouldn't wear that. So now everybody has to wear, they got to play basketball in a thobe now and a kameez. No.
Here, I got a question for y'all, right? I got just to see if I can prove the point I'm about to make. Through the 1990s, name 2 or 3 of the top athletes in the United States.
Michael Jordan. 2
or 3.
In the 90s?
90s, yeah.
Hakeem Olajuwon?
Oh, you Muslim? Come on, Muslim.
Any.
Okay, yeah. You're gonna take Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Who's in what other sport? Baseball. Barry Bonds.
Okay. What about you, Alan? What you got?
Just in the 90s, I think Mubarak mostly said them. King Griffey Jr. You got like Wayne Gretzky.
And you're like, how old are you in the 90s? You don't need. This is not even like your era.
He was born in the 90s.
I was born in the 90s.
Yeah,
I was born in 97.
So you were at least still able to name anybody. So name me one New York City mayor in the 90s.
Couldn't tell you.
Rudy Giuliani.
Was he in the 90s?
Was he in 2001? I just know Giuliani because the whole, he was a 9/11 guy or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, but either way, so my.
But other than that, I don't know. I don't know any of the other. Well, Eric Adams. I know him.
Yeah, Eric Adams. Yeah.
We're about to cover him. Yeah.
Eric Adams.
So what I'm saying, like when you mentioned, like them having as much influence as the Muslim basketball player. The Muslim basketball player probably has more influence than
yeah, probably.
But listen though, before we go off of Zafran Mamdani, let me read
Yep.
you his religious background here. All right, so key details. Right, he identifies as a Shia. All right, and is part of the Kodak community. All right, and he comes from an interfaith background. His mother, filmmaker Mira Nar, is a Hindu. All right, leading him to grow up celebrating both Hindu and Muslim traditions. All right, so
He ain't nothing, man. Get the
this
Come on, man.
that explains literally everything that we have going on, bro. He's a Shia one and a Hindu too.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what we have to understand about living in the West now. Muslim has come to the point where it means the same thing as someone saying I'm Christian. And you can go around and ask Christians, okay, well, what are your beliefs? Well, I'm Christian. Do you go to church? No.
No.
What do you believe about Jesus? I don't know. He's God or something. Like they actually don't even know what Christianity is, right? It's the same thing. It's just a cultural identification.
Yeah.
Now, like for a Muslim to say, like I'm practicing my Muslim and Hindu heritage, that goes back to like what the sister said from the Tianwei cult, right? Some people find it hard to believe that Jesus isn't God or whatever. What?
Because he is and was.
Those don't go
a
together.
Manifestation of
Yeah, like it doesn't go together. Like a Muslim, at least, even an offit Muslim would recognize that. Okay, my Muslim and Indian culture, something like that. You know, like Muslim and Hindu culture. No, it doesn't work.
He just said that he grew up part Hindu. It's fine, but he's now 100% Shia, right? Which has its own problems for the most part. Because anytime, historically, that a Shia has risen to power, they're always going to try to cause problems for the Muslims at large. And they never have like your best interest at heart. So this idea that he's going to, this is a victory for the Muslims as a whole, come on. That would be like the Ayatollah taking a control over New York. Like, this is great for Muslims. Like, is it?
Yeah. Well, this is all a long way to get us to tell you that our prediction is he's going to end up just like all the other previous mayors of New York City. And the previous mayor that Zohran Mamdani has taken over, this is how he ended his term of the mayor of New York City. Mm-hmm. And if you can't tell, he's in Israel and he's at the wall. And he basically is talking to the Israelis there. And this is what he has.
Male team here in Israel. And as I finish, I wanted to come back here to Israel and let you know that I serve you as the mayor, but I want to continue to have the title that's more important to me than anything. I'm your brother. Thank you.
I mean, look at him with that little hat on too.
Right. Big ass head.
He got the little hat on his head and everything. I mean,
I didn't even notice it. Yeah, we do. We got it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, but see, this is the thing. I mean, he's basically letting you know that his job was. I mean, he not even in. You know, the Jewish part of New York. I mean, there's Jews everywhere. He could have went down to whatever little, hung out with the dudes, with the girls or whatever. Be like, yeah, I'm your brother, whatever. He went all the way over there, which tells you that that's just what, you know. If you are going to be elected the mayor of New York, they're going to make the decision who get elected and who doesn't.
Yep. And
he said he was serving, and now his run is over as the mayor. But he just want to make sure, hey,
make sure I'm still good though.
Check
No, but just think about this, right? What African American Black person who isn't Muslim is not Christian? They're literally always Christian. So Eric Adams, right, or whatever his name is, right? He grew up and still is to this day, according to him. He is a Christian man who went to a Christian church and grew up in a Christian family. Why are you over there in the land of the Yahoo wearing a yarmulke talking about I serve you? What happened to y'all?
That's where the man Christ from heaven comes down at.
Yeah. But just to take a small detour, for some people that might really be confused, I used to get frustrated about this. Like, why in the world, why in the world would a Christian even be buddy and supporting the Jews? Because as far
According to
as
them, yeah.
Judaism is concerned, they rejected Isa alayhi salam. They rejected Jesus when he came. They called him a illegitimate child. They called his mother a prostitute. They rejected both of them, said they were false, they were liars or whatever. And they arranged for the Romans to try to crucify him. He was not crucified. They didn't kill him and they didn't crucify him, but this is what they tried to do. So this is the legacy of the Jews. The Jews rejected him and then carried on, and they're still allegedly waiting for their Messiah to come. So Jesus already came and told them that Rasulullah was coming next. That's who really they should be waiting for. But I digress. The point is the Jews rejected Jesus and they're still waiting for their guy, allegedly. Now, the Christians, on the other hand, they believe that in order for Jesus to come back, the Jews actually have to take charge and they have to be in control and they have to create a bunch of havoc. And they actually have to then pave the way for the Antichrist to come, and then Jesus will come back. So they actually need the Jews to succeed in what they're trying to do. The Zionists, they want them to succeed so that they can then be defeated. So it's almost like a sick game that some of these Christians, say, this guy's a Christian. Why would he be doing this? So a lot of the Christian Zionists, you have Christian Zionists because, yes, they want to accelerate the Zionist movement, and they want to accelerate the Jews coming into power and supporting, and they believe that they're going to come, they're going to support the Antichrist, and then with that happening, the Dajjal, then Jesus is going to come, kill the Dajjal, and then they're going to be the winner. So in the end, it's almost like a support that really is like it's really sinister. It's almost those Christians who support Judaism are even worse than the Zionists. If you think about it.
This is actually a good take because it's also a part that actually goes deeper than that aspect of it. So there is, all the different sects in Christianity, and we have in America, the evangelists, right? The Protestants and evangelists type sect. So Amr might appreciate this. He might already probably know it, but a little bit of history. So around the 1800s. So I'll ask y'all a question first. When do you think Zionists became a thing? At what point you're okay, Zionism, which is basically the idea of the Jewish people have to have their own homeland. About what time do you think that became a thing that emerged as an idea or an initiative?
I always thought that it was around 1900s or something like that. Somewhere in that between 1900, 1925, somewhere in that range.
You're correct. But more specifically, I used to think it was after the Holocaust.
No, it was before that.
This happened. We need our own homeland, so this doesn't happen again. We can protect ourselves, whatever. But actually, it became a thing before the Holocaust.
Yep, it was
we already pushing this idea of we need our own homeland.
In Switzerland.
But before that, because you have to lay the groundwork when you're calculated, you have to lay the groundwork because you can't just, as Jews have been persecuted for centuries in every society they go to, right? So you have to lay the groundwork of how are we going to convince society at large to push the idea of us getting our own homeland. Well, Europe's mostly Christian, right? So it has to come from a Christian base. So in the 1800s, right, before Zionism became a thing, there was this Christian, right, who started promoting the idea, or a sect, and he had a lot of followers and ended up becoming evangelists in America. This is where the connection is. But the idea was there's actually two chosen people of God. There's the original chosen people of God, which are the Jews, and the second chosen people are the Christians. Okay? And what they also started promoting on that is really in-depth, specific interpretations of the end times. And that's where you have these things have to happen in this order for the Jesus to come back, right? So that part you're talking about actually happened before Zionism before Israel, 100 years before that, laying the groundwork like, oh,
Yeah.
no, this is religious doctrine. Because the Catholic Church before that, they weren't really heavy into interpreting like what happens in the end days. They're more like how Sunni Muslims were like, yeah, we have these predictions. We don't know exactly when they're going to happen or the exact nature of them. We're not going to try to interpret them. But then these Protestants, evangelists were like, no, this means this, that means that. And that's where you get the idea of, no, the Jews have to take back their homeland because they actually are God's people. And before that, Jesus can't come back.
Yeah.
So fast forward that to today. That's why you have these evangelists, these white nationalists preaching all this same stuff because of something that was started in motion in 1800s. It's crazy. Really crazy.
It's like they call it the Schofield Bible. And of course, I'm gonna give y'all a multiple choice. Who do you think the Schofield Bible was the influence to write it, and it was written by? Do you think it was written by, let's just say, an atheist, a Christian, or a Jew?
Can I say all the above?
So the Schofield Bible basically was commissioned, and it was written basically. So all this, these things that support Zionism and whatever, Schofield Bible was one of those things. It's a long story that we don't got time to get into, but the point is them wanting to, like the Zionists are motivated to bring about the Greater Israel Project and all that thing because they feel like they're the chosen people, and this is promised us, so we're going to dominate the world. The Christian Zionists or Christians, evangelicals who want Israel to be in charge and be the superpower of the world or whatever, is because they think if it happens, when it happens, then Jesus is coming back. So they want Jesus to come back, but they're like, it's almost like they're using them as cannon fodder. It's just ridiculous.
It's so silly. Like, imagine us as Muslims being like, yo, we need to get this Dajjal going right now. We need to get him up. We need to prop him up. Where that dude turned out? Like, what are you doing? Yeah,
it's like so they for instance, even some of these people, it's like, so you see some, like the term anti-Semitism, anti-Semite, all these things thrown around. If you see now lately, like a lot of people who were getting banned and stopped from saying anything quote unquote anti-Semitic or whatever, they're kind of letting them run. Like even some things that are online, you see like, man, they got the Austrian painter, as they say. You know who the Austrian painter is. they got his old speeches, you know what I mean? The boy in Germany who
oh boy, all right, Dolph.
Yeah, they got his speeches translated into English now, so they basically got the boy, the Austrian painter. Hitler's the Austrian painter, for those who don't know. But they got his speeches that AI generated into his voice, but in English, and people was like, "Yeah, man, this makes sense." Like, the point is that there is a movement for, they actually want more people to dislike the Zionists and Jews, so that they can all go back to the Israel. So they want them all to come back. As many people who claim to be, Israeli or Jewish or whatever, they want them to all to come back, and they want to kind of have that homeland they return there. So in order to get people who claim to be Jewish to leave wherever they are, whether in Australia or wherever else, to go back, they have to make the situation kind of untenable and uncomfortable for them. But where it's comfortable at is in Israel, the greater Israel. So when you look at, if we go back to Gaza, I know we're getting off track, but if you look at what they're doing with Gaza, the situation that people don't realize with Gaza, it's not that it's a genocide. They're actually clearing the land and clearing the area for construction. They're actually just trying to mow down everything and build it up for all the Israeli and the people who claim Judaism to come there and live. So they're clearing the land. The people just happen to be there. And so they're like, oh, we're looking for Hamas. We're doing this. No, really, they're leveling the place. we did a couple shows back where we showed they had I don't know if maybe we did do it. I can't remember if we did it on this show or not, but where they had the plans.
Yeah, the plans.
And if you look for it, they have the plans of what they're going to build there, the housing and all the things. So they plan on.
This is phase one. Level the earth.
Yeah.
Level the ground.
Yeah. So they want to level build it up nice and like a resort like situation where all these people who are, whether they have these Jewish people who are wealthy and they're used to certain amenities and certain situation where they're living in the West and in all these places, they're everywhere, and they want them to come back, and they're going to have a nice place for them to come to, and so they need to do the renovation, and that's really what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So we got some. So again, we're trying to get the message across to our viewers, especially the Muslims, that you can't keep falling for this stuff with getting involved in politics. Okay, you can't really keep falling for it. And we have prime examples of people getting involved, getting invested, trying to take sides, and we'll show how it eventually, it just turns on them. So here we have, and this is in the UK. We have this guy who is Indian, and I'll just play the clip.
So that's us celebrating white history.
Yeah, so celebrating white history.
So I have to ask, as a Pakistani Muslim immigrant, why are you here?
Exactly. The reason why I'm here because I support what they're talking about. They're talking about illegal immigration. Right. They're talking about even legal migrants who come here and they do not integrate and they don't follow the system and the British culture, the values and everything else.
One of UKIP's policies, what they've said publicly, is that they would want to deport between 5 and 10 million people from the country. So that goes way beyond anyone who's come here by a small boat. That includes people who are here legally.
No, that's what I said. Legal people as well. If they are legally here, but they're not.
So you get the point here. He's basically at a protest of white nationalists in the UK that are trying to deport him. Literally trying to deport him. And he's there supporting them, celebrating White History Month or whatever. Right? And you might think this is crazy, but he's not the only one that does this.
No,
he's not the only one.
There's lots of examples. There's lots of people that do this, but I would just say this for the Muslims, whether you're not Muslim, I've seen some Latinos fall for this trap and all types of people. This is the thing. They will, by they, I mean the majority of Americans or Europeans or whoever, the indigenous people to that land, basically the white folks. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not all white people, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They will accept an illegal immigrant, an illegal criminal immigrant from Norway. Mm-hmm. They'll let them stay. They won't have no issue. You can be a legal, law-abiding, wonderful person from Pakistan, where he's from, and they say one of these people you have to throw out. He's legal. He's a citizen. He has a European or a U.S. passport, or the illegal criminal from Norway. He's looking like Clay Matthews Jr. He's got the Brad Pitt. He's got the blonde hair, blue eyes, or whatever. They will throw the legal, law-abiding Pakistani out 100 times out of 100. It's what y'all don't realize. It doesn't matter if you don't look like them, talk like them, dress like them, and believe like them. They will never consider you one of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do. The Latinos are realizing this. They're like, yeah, we want those illegal, them illegal Mexicans. Yeah, we want them locked up. We're glad ICE is doing that. All of a sudden, he gets locked up himself. But I'm a citizen. They don't care.
Don't care, right?
I was born here. Yeah.
but we got some of those.
I'm about to say that Pakistani guy in the UK is really alarming because when the British colonized India, right? There's reports that up to 100 million Indians died because of that. 100 million. And here you are, 80 years later, out here snipping for them, talking about, I'll support them entirely. Brother, what are you doing? You are disgracing your forefathers, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got here, might be the first I know of, Muslim Zionists.
Oh, yeah.
How Quran support your narrative. Quran verse chapter number 5, verse 21. It says, "Oh people, my people, oh my people." The Quran mentioned Jews as my people. Let me tell you one thing. We don't know who you are. You Jews, who you are, we don't know. What is your prophet? Who is your prophet? We don't know. What is your holy book? We don't know. What is your struggle? What is your love for the land? We don't know. We know when Quran says, what is your value actually? What is your status in the Quran? You have a higher status in the Quran than us. Remember that. "O my people, enter the Holy Land which God had assigned unto you." This was the first aliyah after persecution when Moses rescued his people from Egypt. That was the one era. Allah said, "Jews, enter."
I don't want to. It's 4 minutes long, so I keep going. But basically, I'll sum it up. Good enough.
Wait.
It justifies how the Jews in the Quran are higher status than the Muslims, and that land of Palestine, Israel, whatever that canon, that land is rightfully theirs because Allah said it in the Quran that it's theirs. And that's pretty much what he goes on for the rest of this and supports it. So,
oh my goodness!
I mean,
I'm tripping off the fact that he said they have a higher status than us, as in the Muslims. I mean, has this man not opened up the Quran ever? He act like he's quoting from the Quran, but what Allah says, وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَكِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. The izzah, the honor, actually is with Allah and the Messenger and the Muslimin and the Muslims, but the only people who don't know that are the munafiqeen. So I'm just telling you what Allah said. So if you don't know that, either he's extremely ignorant or he doesn't believe it. One or the other.
And you got the ayat that you help me out with the exact wording, but the best are those who say, "I am Muslim." Like,
yeah, even Muslims. Well, in the dina عند الله الإسلام. The religion with Allah is Islam. So it's like, what are you talking about? If we're talking about Allah, who is the creator, and this is who everybody is, was created by, and we're going to be and to him we're going to be gathered back to. And he is saying, Allah is saying, in the dina عند الله الإسلام, that Islam is the religion. So how can they have a higher status than anyone? Everyone is underneath the Muslims.
I'm about to say, also there's the hadith where Prophet Muhammad on his deathbed said, right, may Allah's curse be upon who? He didn't say the Muslims, all right? He said the Yahud and Nazara. He did not say the Muslims. So how are they have the curse of Allah upon them, but they're higher than us?
Well, what about? I mean, we pray. We say the Fatiha. It's like 40-something times a day if you pray. At least twice if you make two rakats in any time of your life. And may Allah save us from those who went astray and those who earned His anger. But I guess they're above us, right? It's ridiculous. The thing is with these people is they have. And I don't know, maybe he might be Pakistani. He looks he could be Indian, whatever. But
it's always a doubt.
A certain.
Go ahead, say it, Jake.
I'll say certain nationalities have this innate need, and we see it because we're black, and we see this happen because of how we live and racism and all that. But the only term I know to describe it the best is Uncle Tom.
Yeah,
that's the only term to describe it. And so Uncle Tom we're seeing that it just doesn't apply to black people. And it's this need that I'm gonna please massa, then they're gonna give me special benefits and be so good to me. And when it's time to get rid of all these other Muslims, Indians, black people, whatever, he's gonna spare me because I've been good to master.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I mean, we have the term coon. Okay, raccoon is basically a coon that, it's like a black person who basically, pretty much almost like if they could be white, they would do it. They espouse the same types of negative ideas, stereotypes, and thoughts about their own people as what the white people tried to convince other white people and black people so that they can remain, in power, this type of thing. So for the Muslims, a lot of the Muslims, they called them like in the the subcontinent, the Muslims from India and Pakistan, they call these people coconuts. Where
Coconuts, really? Oh.
Coconut on the inside is white. So he thinks he's right, but he's a coconut.
That's genius. Oh my God.
So they call them coconuts. But it's a thing where, the British conquered all of that area. Listen, man, I mean, we got to give credit where it's due. Them Europeans, listen, they for a while they had a good run where they was packing everybody up and putting them out the pasture or putting them to work. One or the other. I mean, they had their run, but the effects, I think for the African Americans or for the Black people in America, I think that this might be biased, but at least we realize the situation. And we just we just gonna be us, whatever. We're not gonna try to be you because you had the power over us, so now we're just gonna try to be like you. We kind of just whatever. We just us.
Right.
But a lot of other people, a lot of other colonized groups, they they in charge. So the more we try to be like them and think like them and kind of, then maybe they will accept us to be like them. We already realized it. Maybe because there's our skin. Some of these people are darker than us, but they think they're white. Then we just realize that, listen, our features, we're not this, so we just, maybe that's why. But the point is, they still suffer from, not all of them, but some of them suffer from trying to please and present themselves with their ideology, thinking that they're going to accept them. It's not going to happen.
It's not. And we have clear evidence of this not happening, and we're going to show that to you right now. We're going to move through some of these kind of quick because we don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. But I mean, this is a lot of stuff that you guys are going to have to really unpack after you guys see this stuff. Because if we could put this into like a peer-reviewed study, just with clips of hey, this is what happens every time, without a doubt. Because look at this. And remember when Trump was running again for president, there was a lot of Muslim support, Latino support. Well, let's first show you what happened to the Latino supporters.
Pause. First thing you see is him in handcuffs, bro. We already know how this ends, bro. We already know. Ya Allah.
One of President Donald Trump's most loyal voting blocs, Cuban and Venezuelan immigrants. Now speaking out in Miami, a Republican stronghold, as the recent wave of deportations hits home and the Trump administration moved to end temporary legal status, or TPS, for more than 500,000 people who arrived during the Biden administration.
He was pretty much, thanks for your vote. Now he's got to go.
And that's why I say, listen, think about this thing. I remember even people at work was when Trump was talking about when he was talking about building the wall, build the wall. And I was like, this was 2016. I was like, he'll never build that wall, and he's just saying that to rile up, some people who they're simple minded. They got this one track, mind or whatever, and so they do a certain thing, say a certain thing. The wall is a good example, just so that you can think about it. Oh yeah, he did say that he was going to build a wall. He didn't even start on it. I mean, it's not going to happen. So these people who voted for Trump, the Latinos, is yeah, Trump is, man, listen, as soon as he got the vote, you don't matter. You don't matter.
Yeah. And just to remind y'all of, again, we're going to hit what a lot of these people think of you. Like our show is titled, they don't like you, they don't like us. This is what a lot of them actually think.
In 1900, the world was 30% white. Fast forward 125 years, we are down to 7%. Islamification is particularly aimed at the destruction of white people. Islamification of in Michigan. We don't need it in any part of America. We have a right to self-determination. Damn right. Damn right. Fought and died for our posterity. The white is in our country. And the people, the veterans, the World War II veterans, that's blood
So you get the point there. This is in Dearborn, Michigan. And this is some white nationalists going to the meeting. And now Dearborn, you should know, it's like a majority Muslim or city. The street signs are in Arabic, and there's a lot of Arabs there, right? He's coming to the meeting and declaring his white pride and white nationalistic pride. This is how they really feel about us. So they'll smile at us. They'll like, go to your football games and watch you on TV because you're playing for their, you're entertaining them. They'll cheer for you. All these different, but at the same time, they don't want you here. They don't want us here. They don't want to work with us. They want to be in control. They want to be in power. And they feel that any bit of that is slipping away. You see how they act with this guy. It's like it just comes right out. Like, nah, F this. We used to be 30%. Now we're 5%. Oh, we need.
I know he wants to blame the Muslims for everything. It could be some Muslims, but the reason why y'all dropped from 35% to 7%, it ain't what you think it is, buddy.
It's for very different reasons.
It's another. It ain't the Muslims.
I'll tell you also,
it's Tyrone.
It's not even just Tyrone as well. Because listen, you white dudes refuse to ever marry a white girl. Every white person I know has some Asian, Filipino wife. All right, so y'all don't even procreate with white people. Like it's always some Asian girl who's just with. Like, oh, I love Japan. I love China.
This is what they need to do. This is what they need to do. We need to tell them about our Section 8 plan, right? And they need to start. They want to increase those numbers. They got to start getting those behemoths. They got to start deucing up the 3 or 4 300-pound ladies and start procreating, right? It's not, and for every white girl that gets with, a light-skinned black athlete, they got to marry at least 2 300-pound white women to make up for it.
Hey, but listen, down in the South, down here, listen, the Mexicans is snatching them up too, man. Listen, hey, listen, the Mexicans be like, all right, look, they'll have that white girl will be 10 inches taller than him and got 200 pounds on him, but he like
carrying over the threshold of a honeymoon. Come on, Hector.
So you can be mad about the percentages dropping, but hey, listen, you got I'm drawing a blank on a stereotypical Latino name, but you got Tyrone and Cortez or whatever. That's what the problem is, buddy. You probably need to identify that, and some of y'all just might have to just go ahead and take one for the team, or take 2 or 3 or 4 for the team. You know what I mean? Exactly. Because that's what's happening. That's why your numbers is dropping, because every time Tyrone or Cortez get done one of them, whatever comes out after that is going to be either Mexican or they're going to be black.
Yeah.
They're not white no more.
And speaking of Dearborn, we have this, and this lady kind of sums it up very quick. What happened to Latinos happened in Dearborn, and we're going to transition and start talking about the Somalians that actually were supporting Trump as well.
You mean to tell me not only did the Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan support Wigs R Us, but the Somalians in Minneapolis, Minnesota supported Wigs R Us. And now he is saying that y'all have stolen billions from the fucking United States and from American citizens, and that the mayor of
So long story short, Latinos supported Trump, Somalians supported Trump, Muslims in Dearborn supported Trump, and so he got in office. Yeah, y'all got to go. He turned on them, right? Very clearly. And you got this, here's an example of one of the Somalians that is trying to beg for forgiveness or whatever he's trying to do, right?
President, if you were standing here right now.
Mr. President, we campaign for you. We have hope in you. We see hope in you. Please differentiate between good, bad, and evil.
That's a Somali immigrant who voted for President Trump in 2024, but now Trump is demonizing Somalis in America, specifically here in Minnesota.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. That's not politically correct.
You see how he got the hat on and he got the little Western suit on and listen, you're not fooling them. It does not matter. A dude from Norway with a dashiki on and a turban will still be let in and be accepted and welcomed over you with the nicest suit and American style top hat you want. It just won't happen. Then he's like, oh, he got to realize between good, bad, and evil. Basically, let me translate the black folks already know, but let me translate this for people that don't know. Basically, it's like there's niggas. I'm just hardworking black dude, and then there's niggas. That's basically what he's saying. Differentiate between the good, bad, and evil. Basically saying, yes, I know some of the Somalians are that are bad and they're evil, but I'm one of the good ones. Differentiate. Look at me. I had hope in you. Basically begging, humiliating himself, man.
Well,
you gotta stop that.
If he thinks that's gonna work for him, like, I mean, even like, I guess you would say one of the top Somalis in the United States isn't safe.
Trying to pack up.
I'm you out of here. I'm getting you out of here.
Don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do. When you're talking about I'm talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our constitution. And yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother.
Trump is so out of pocket, bro.
So he's coming after Ilhan, you know, the Muslim rap, whatever, Somali rap, allegedly married her brother to get citizenship, whatever. You know, hey, do what you got to do. I ain't not gonna hustle.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm just saying, I kind of looked into it. It looked like it's going to be hard for her to beat the allegations. I'm not saying that she's married to her brother, but hey, it's like, you just got some explaining to do. But,
just get in how you fit in, right? Then just ramped up the anti-Somali rhetoric, and you have people like, you know, that same person that was smiling in your face, giving you your coffee, you know, giving you your Cinnabon. Well, this is how they actually feel about you. Racist lady retires after fundraising nearly $100,000, right? A Cinnabon worker in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, erupted into a racist tirade against a black Somali Muslim couple who had simply asked for extra caramel on their order. So, again, and it's not that the fact that this one person was racist. She raised $100,000.
Yeah, and so just how you see how when those guys were playing Duck Duck Goose and smacking the little boys on the head, and when they were trying to pray or whatever, and it actually encouraged other people to be braver. They show you how they really feel, and this is another example to where they themselves probably were not. They probably care about their job and they don't want to get canceled or whatever, but they support it with their pocketbooks, basically by saying, yeah, we like what you did. And so much so that they literally paid her the average American salary for 2 years. She can literally take 2 years off just by, I mean, hey, listen, if somebody was smart, they can make a business out of this. Get hired at some low level minimum wage fast food place, right? Then wait for Somalia to come in, go on a racist rant, set up a GoFundMe, and just keep doing that.
Listen. It don't even have to. It could be even better than that. I'm pretty sure we all have white friends, right? Listen, I can go to my listen. Just go in here. I'm gonna come in, and you're gonna berate me, attack me. You know, even whoop my butt. Like, I'll let you get a few hits in. You go on the runs. You can't work anymore. I'll get some of my Muslim friends to send you some death threats. Right? Hey, we'll get some money out of this.
Hey, listen. Hey, nowadays people are getting ripped off by AI, fake Instagram people or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's a famous basketball player that we sent a fake AI account $60,000 for what, I don't know. This is not that type of show, but but I mean, hey, at this day, hey, if somebody was smart, they would just get a couple, like you said, get a couple Somalis, or just anybody who's one of those people, one of those groups that people don't want here.
Yep.
Walk in. I mean, listen, just get hired. You could legit get hired at, go to Wendy's or McDonald's or any place.
Don't be like the Smollett guy though. You gotta be a little smarter than that. You also have to be a little bit smarter than this lady here, who the nun stabs herself and blames a fake Muslim attacker to promote hate. She was trying to get on that retirement plan too.
Oh my God. So really what this boils down to is that they're like right-wing crowd. They're some of the dumbest people to ever exist. Like I remember it was this black lady. It was this black girl. She was in college, right? And she said that her parents were disowning her and cutting off her funding for college because she's MAGA. And she had a whole photo of her in like a MAGA hat. And she said, "Oh, I've been kicked out of my house now. I have a place to stay." She raised like $1 million, right? And a year later, she was like, "Oh, I lied to you. I've never been MAGA in my
entire life." You had too much integrity, because when MAGA stuff first started happening, we could have did the same thing. Like, all the Muslims are cutting us off because I support Donald Trump. I can't feed my family.
Out there like that, it's real, right?
And then, I'm pretty sure they'd want to promote us, right? We're black, we're Muslim, supporting Trump. You get on the stage and with that David Chappelle line, "Gotcha, bitch." But going back to what Mubarak said about like the one Somali guy was like, "There's good, there's bad, there's evil." And he was like, pretty much he was talking like, "I ain't one of the niggas," right? Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna say, and I'm going on a limb, and they might not like this, but I think some of the Somali Americans, some of our African Americanness has rubbed off on them, because the way a lot of them have responded has been epic, right? This is kind of like, this is how us Black Americans, this is how we usually respond to stuff like this, right? And they pretty much is gone viral everywhere, and we're gonna, just Somali American appreciation segment to end the show, to show that pretty much instead of fighting back and, or appeasing or kowtowing to all the hate that's coming their way, all the slander that's coming their way, instead, the Somalis, the American Somalis, have done a lot of research into the history, right, into their roots, and actually found out that Minnesota was promised to them by God 3,000 years ago, and they are here to claim their rights. And we have all this peer-reviewed evidence to prove such a thing. So let's go here first and give you this first doubly checked, double verified, double blind test, academically sourced publication here.
Actually stems from two Somali words. One being minan, which comes from the southern dialect of Somalia, which means home. And the second is sota, which is like, sota, there she is. Home, there she is. I think we actually got the natives there.
Hey, listen, it's peer reviewed.
Well, there you go. Minnesota comes from the Somali words, and it basically means home. There she is.
Home, there she is.
There she is. So, Native Americans, Indians, over there, right? The Somalis were here way before y'all. That's probably where y'all get y'all dark skin from. Mm-hmm. What else do we got here? Even one of the greatest presidents. I mean, he's on Mount Rushmore. Look at the clear Somali roots.
And listen, it does not get more clear than this. It's obviously Abraham Lincoln was Somali. Look at this striking.
Lanky. Yeah. I mean, it's clear as day now. Clear as day.
Somali day right there for sure.
What else we got here? Wait, switch. Hold on. Computer's messing up. Oh, I got two up. Okay. But this one, the Somalis have been accused of leeching off the government, taking benefits, food stamps, Section 8, all these different things. Like they're saying billions. Like, so, you know, we're sending billions of dollars over to Israel, but right here at home, we have Somalians just taking advantage of the American benefit system and living off of it, off of our taxpayer dollars. Well, here's what this Somali American has to say in response to that accusation.
You don't got Thank you for working so hard so I can be home all day, free. I can use my EBT. Go to work for me, white boy. Yeah, go to work for me, you fucking white animal. Fucking work. Yeah, you fucking work for me. And the U.S. government they work for me. All of you work for me. Now go to work. Pay them taxes. Take care of me and my people.
Pay them taxes. Take care of me.
Yo, listen, there is some right wing MAGA loving guy probably seeing this and he was a satire, but he probably blew a gasket. You know, just he's losing his mind watching this. I would be careful I was this dude, man.
Yep. And then I mean it's this is getting such a big, you know, support. I mean, how the politicians, like the previous mayor of New York City, Adams, went to Israel to kiss the wall and show support. Well, out of nowhere, the Somali Minnesota lobby has gained a lot of influence. For now, you see all these politicians going to the Somali wall and paying their respects.
We are too.
Hold up. Is that Obama back there?
Probably can't tell.
Oh no, I don't know who it is. But yeah, hey, listen. Gotta go to Somalia. Gotta put on a little hat.
They put on the hat and everything. And this is all culminating to, you know, and I hope it doesn't lead to violence like it did in, you know, American history. But New Somali, Minnesota, they have, you know, decided to secede from the United States.
Yo,
the Somali States of America, all right? SSA.
So, you know, hopefully we have good relations. Hopefully there's not a civil war, you know. But, you know, shout out to the Somalis who have had the, you know, to turn this into something that was fun, basically slapping all this negativity in the face with excellent satire and playing on what actually the real issue is that's going on in the world, that this whole Somali thing coming up was just a distraction from. So putting it right back to, there's a genocide going on in multiple places in the world, in Gaza, in Palestine, in Sudan. As there's Muslims being persecuted in other places, you got the Uyghur Muslims, and we can keep going on and on and on. Don't let these things distract you from what's really going on. Don't let these things distract you from what we're really here for, is to worship Allah, and then we're going to die. We're going to go back to Allah. And especially Muslims living in the West, especially Muslims living right here in America, don't get swept up into these politics. Don't go and support Democrats, Republicans, or any specific person. Go to the masjid and pay attention to those politics. Get on the masjid board and teach classes at the school. And you want to be involved in politics? Do it right there in your own masjid, in your own school, in your own home. Forget about all this other stuff, because you're not going to have any impact. And again, it's just going to backfire on you. That's it. So with that, we'll be on next week, inshallah. And I believe it's going to be a holy day for our American Christian people. It's going to be actually
Christmas, right?
The 25th. So
we'll forget all about it.
But real quick, before we get off, right? So we talked about the Somalians, and they're making the whole joke about the Yahud, right? And the Yahud believe that their land was promised, the Palestine, right, was promised them 2,000 years ago, right? And also, we didn't mention this as well, but the Pakistanis believe that Lohut Lamakan was promised to them 20,000 years ago.
You got me.
Before time began.
I'm done.
All right, y'all. Till next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, ya Allah.
All right, we are off air.